Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Two unconnected news items caught my attention recently. One was that Neil Gray, a DJ on Capital Radio, had tweeted photographs that he had taken, selfies that he'd taken over the last 10 years of his life, showing how he'd changed over that time. And the other item was about coffin clubs. These originated apparently in New Zealand some 8 or 9 years ago, but are taking off. They're kind of DIY arts and crafts type groups where people make and decorate their own coffin. And they put various things on. Somebody apparently put a checkered flag on because they said they'd reached their last lap, or would have done when they were in the coffin. And someone else put on the top of their coffin a portrait of a film star that they rather fancied, saying that would mean that she would be with him to eternity. The point of making these bringing these to your attention is that Neil Gray was looking back and the Coffin Club people are looking forward. And of course, we know, I think, most of us, that actually the way to live life at its richest and to enter into it most fully is to try and live in the present. Of course, we sometimes think back with regret or with nostalgia or with joy. Sometimes we look forward with hopes, with dreams, with anticipation. But in day-to-day living, it's quite important to try just to be in the present moment. I once heard a Buddhist talk about this and said that the trouble with Western culture is that when people are eating an orange, they tend to tear off the next segment while they're still eating the first. Whereas actually what you ought to do is really enjoy the first, really savour it and get the full richness of that segment of orange before you even begin to think about the next one. A symbolic way of saying how important it was to take each moment as it comes and not always to be thinking about what you're going to do next. Not an easy thing to do. And it's something that we need help with. One thing I've found helpful and was once suggested to me is just if you want to kind of be a bit more aware of the moment, is to be a bit more aware of your body, to be aware of how it feels to be inside the clothes that you're wearing, how your bottom is feeling sitting on the seat that you're sitting on, or your soles of your feet are feeling on whatever you're standing on. Just to be that physical awareness can help us to be in the moment. But it's certainly something worth pursuing. It helps to enable us really to enter into life at its richest. And for Christians, it's a way that many great spiritual writers have suggested of encountering God. Brother Lawrence, I think, is the best known of these. His little book, The Practice of the Presence of God, is about how in his work, and he worked in the kitchen in the monastery all his life, that in the washing up of a dish, in the preparing of a particular meal, each individual stage needed to be concentrated on and focused on, and that was where he felt he encountered God most closely. But whether we're Christians or not, trying to live in the moment is something that is worth doing. It deepens our experience of life, adds to its richness, and helps to give life an added meaning.